On today's special episode, how a young girl's fascination with big projects led to a career in civil engineering. Today's episode is brought to you by Engineering.com, a globally trusted source for engineering content. Check out this and many other exclusive videos for the engineering professional found only on Engineering.com TV today. Iris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim.
Iris, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? Where do you live?
So I am 22 years old and I live in Orlando, Florida. Beautiful city.
It is a beautiful city. Now tell me a bit, of course, about the critical thing for this engineering perspective. What's your alma mater?
My alma mater is UCF.
And tell me about it. Why did you decide to choose engineering as a career?
So for a couple of reasons, one of which being the 7 Mile Bridge down in Key West, which could be called the eighth wonder of the world. It's an incredible engineering feat and one of the longest bridges in the world. So it was really incredible to me as a kid to drive over that.
That's interesting. So is mechanical engineering your primary interest? Has it always been that way?
Well, actually, I'm in civil engineering, and it's been definitely my primary interest since I've been in college. I didn't really realize how many different disciplines of engineering there were until I got into it, and civil engineering just resonated with me.
That happened. You mentioned it from being a little girl, but of course, when you get into college and you look at all the potential for all those different disciplines and subdisciplines to go at that point, were you ever tempted to veer away from civil and look at chemical, electrical?
Yeah, definitely. I started out as industrial and went to environmental, and then eventually to civil, just because I wanted to work more on the people side of things, and with industrial, and then environmental, I wanted to save the world. Which I now realize is probably more effective with civil, with all of our solar projects and all the renewable energy coming in.
Iris, colleges all across the nation have been working hard for decades, really, to try and get more women into engineering, specifically at this point. And you're sort of the leading edge of that. How did you see that process? Did you look around your classroom and see a lot of women around you?
So at first, I would say no. It was about 70-30 majority guys. And then as I got deeper into my degree, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was more 50-50 girls and guys, which is a wonderful thing to see. And I'm really excited to support future women in engineering. It's an exciting thing.
Now, you're a civil engineer, and those of us who come from other disciplines, of course, tend to look at civil engineers as kind of the people that kind of work in the mud with a hard hat and and rubber boots on. It's sort of a more rough and ready form of engineering. Specifically, is there something about that attracted you? Is it the big projects versus sort of the microelectronics?
Yeah, I really want to get my hands dirty. And some of the projects I get to work on, I'm able to visit the site, see what's going on. And it's cool to be able to design something that I know that my kids or my grandkids can see and say, look at that, grandma or mom worked on that. It's really cool.
Now, tell me a bit about the company you work for.
So I work for Black& Veatch, which is a global civil engineering company. And I work specifically for their power and transmission line department.
Now, these days, of course, the grid is of major national importance. There was a major issue in Texas that was weather related. There's predictions that global warming will create new weather events, and the idea of the 100-year storm might become the 20-year storm. And of course, we also have in the mix now decarbonization, alternates, grid stability. So it sounds like you picked a career that sort of dovetails nicely into what the nation needs now. What are you looking at Black & Veatch? Do you think there's going to be a big demand for this kind of grid rehabilitation or grid remediation?
Yeah, I do think so, especially as a lot of these existing supporting structures are reaching the end of their life. And with the increase of population and people gradually moving out towards the suburbs with working from home, I think there's going to be a big push for more transmission line and supporting structures. Yeah, it's exciting.
What's your favorite part about what you do every day?
I would say my coworkers. I'm really lucky to work in a team full of women, and just having their support every day is a real blessing.
Iris, would you recommend engineering as a career path to young women, girls who are perhaps in high school right now, who will have that strength in math and sciences, or are wondering what to do with their lives?
Yeah, definitely. I found engineering to be not only a bolster for my own self confidence as I went through all these really difficult classes, but also a great way to network because when you go through engineering, a lot of the women tend to come together through these times of hardship through classes or, you know, if there is discrimination in the classroom against women, we come together and create a really strong network. So it's a wonderful, wonderful society to be a part of.
Iris Peterson, civil engineer with Black & Veatch, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Well, that's it for today's episode of This Week in Engineering, brought to you by engineering.com. For our deeper engineering series, visit engineering.com TV for exclusive shows like Manufacturing the Future and Designing the Future, not found on our YouTube channel. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.